Ever had someone look you dead in the eyes and tell you your time is up? That happened to me in front of an entire room of people I helped train. My name's Daniel.
I'm 52.
I've led product teams at a top-tier tech firm longer than most of these kids have been out of college. I've never been the loudest in the room. I just deliver results. But that didn't matter to Ethan. Ethan was my new manager, 33 years old, sharp suit, fast-talking, all style, no substance. He called a team meeting just a few weeks after taking over. Midway through, I raised a concern, just a question really, about a deadline he'd set that, frankly, made no sense. He laughed. "I appreciate the wisdom, Dan," he said, smirking. "But maybe it's time we let someone younger take the wheel. We're building the future, not dragging the past behind us." The room went quiet. A few nervous chuckles. I just nodded, picked up my bag, and left without saying another word. He thought he'd humiliated me, ended me, cleared the path for his ego trip. But here's the thing. He had no idea what I was about to do next. What do you do when the room you built turns its back on you? That meeting wasn't the first time I saw it coming. The writing was already on the wall. The smirks, the cold shoulders, the way my emails started getting ignored. I wasn't just being phased out. I was being erased. For 22 years, I gave everything to that company. Led some of the biggest product launches. Trained half the staff that now sat silent while Ethan mocked me. And you know what stung the most? Some of them laughed with him. Ethan didn't waste time. After that meeting, he slowly stripped me of responsibilities. Pulled me off key accounts. Excluded me from planning sessions. He was strategic with it, never openly hostile, just dismissive. And in tech, being invisible is worse than being wrong. He dressed it up with buzzwords: streamlining, modernizing, agility. But I knew what it really meant. Make space for his people. Get rid of the old guy. Could have fought it. Filed HR complaints. Stirred up drama. But here's the thing. I didn't need to fight for a seat at a table I helped build. Because I had already started building something else. Something bigger. And soon, that table, it was going to flip. Ever walked away, just so you could come back stronger? The day I resigned, I wore my favorite watch. Not because I needed to impress anyone. Because it was a reminder of time. A patience. Of how power shifts when you stop chasing and start building. I didn't slam doors. Didn't cry foul. Just walked into Ethan's office, handed in my resignation, and thanked him for the opportunity to grow. His smirk said it all. He thought he'd won. That I was crawling off into the retirement sunset. He even cracked a joke on my way out. "Hope the golf course treats you well, Dan." I laughed with him. But behind that smile, I already had 3 meetings lined up. A few weeks before my so-called departure, I started talking to a small but hungry tech startup, led by people half Ethan's age but twice as humble. A firm Ethan once mocked in a boardroom presentation. Called them a joke with no serious market threat. I saw something else. They had talent, vision, but no leadership. So I gave them mine. And what we built together. It wasn't just a product. It was a storm. And Ethan? He didn't even know it was coming. How do you destroy someone who thinks they're untouchable? Simple. You don't attack them. You outclass them. Silently. While Ethan was busy giving flashy presentations and posing for LinkedIn selfies with buzzwords he barely understood, I was in a windowless office, coding, designing, building, with a team that actually listened, innovated, pushed. We launched 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Our platform didn't just compete with Ethan's product. It obliterated it. Sleeker UI, faster load times, smarter features. Every complaint his clients had, we solved it. Quietly. First, he didn't notice. He was too busy congratulating himself. Then clients started leaving. One by one, major accounts pulled out. Mysteriously. Silently. Guess where they went? I never reached out. Never poached. Never gloated. They came to us voluntarily because good work doesn't need a sales pitch. It just needs results. Ethan tried to adjust. He pushed his team harder. Held late-night meetings. Started blaming people. But you can't outmaneuver a ghost. I was always one step ahead. Then something strange started happening. The very people who once laughed when he mocked me, they started messaging me. Hey Dan, I've been thinking. Dan, got a second to chat? Dan, is there room on your team? And I hadn't even shown my face yet. But that was about to change. Because what came next would be very public. What's more satisfying than revenge? Recognition. The industry's biggest tech expo was coming up. 3 days of panels, press, and product reveals. Ethan had been hyping his team's game-changing platform for months. He booked the biggest booth, sent out invites like he was royalty. But he didn't know one thing. We were on the headline list, too. Not in some dusty back corner. Front stage, prime slot, keynote. The look on his face when he saw my name on the agenda? I wasn't there to see it, but I heard from enough people that his jaw actually dropped. And when I stepped onto that stage in a tailored navy blazer, nothing flashy, just sharp, something changed in the room. People leaned forward. Phones came out. Cameras clicked. I wasn't the too old guy anymore. I was the comeback story they didn't know they needed. I unveiled our platform. Clean. Seamless. Live demo? Perfect. By the time I walked off stage, a global partnership deal had been signed, with a company Ethan's firm had been chasing for over a year. I didn't even have to look in his direction. But afterward, as I exited the hall, he approached. Hand out. That same fake smile.
Dan, congratulations.
Really impressive work. I paused, smiled, and walked right past him. No handshake. No words. Just silence. But the fallout? Oh, that was just beginning. What happens when the person they tried to erase becomes impossible to ignore? 2 weeks after the expo, the news broke. Ethan was no longer with the company. Official statements cited creative differences and a new direction. But we both knew the truth. The clients were gone. The talent had fled. The board couldn't ignore the numbers, or the fact that I'd done more in 5 months than Ethan had in 2 years. But I wasn't celebrating. I wasn't posting humblebrag threads on social media or doing victory laps around his failure. I didn't need to, because this wasn't about destroying him. It was about refusing to be dismissed. You ever notice how people love to talk about innovation until they realize experience is innovation? See, age doesn't make you outdated. Complacency does. And Ethan? He got lazy, arrogant. He thought a wrinkle was a weakness. But I turned it into a weapon. And when I walked away that first day, without saying a word, I knew, deep down, that silence would echo louder than any speech ever could. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been underestimated? Have they counted you out because of your age, your voice, your background? Good. Let them. Then do what I did. Smile. Walk away. And build something they can't ignore.